I'm ICED37, and this is going to be a speed run of Rain World's Pilgrimage as Hunter. It has 3 difficulties, that being Monk, Survivor, and Hunter. Hunter being the hard mode. Hunter is vastly different compared to the other 2 runs. We'll point out as it goes on. And yeah, this is a game I've been running for a while now. The Pilgrimage route will involve us beating the game with one of the intended endings. I'll get to that as we go into it. So yeah. One thing else I'm going to say is that, well, we'll just go through it as we're playing it. But I'll be playing as a slug cat, and the movement with slug cat is a bit more fluid than some other games, but doesn't have a lot of the special abilities. So game starts when this circle completely fills here. So I'll try to count it down a little bit, but 3, 2, 1. Alright. So we have a bit of an intro sequence for Hunter. And then we immediately want to pick up this spear and throw it to get a little speed to get that. So the thing about this game is that when you throw something, especially when you're in the air, ooh, we want this, you will get a burst of speed in that direction, and you can keep that acceleration through the air as we are going. Which is hard to get right. Well, that's a bit annoying. Why don't we just take this safe for now? Yes, I know it's the snail wheel. Perfect. Also, I really like to talk about this game. And for the most part, I'm going to have chat up to be able to answer questions, anything about it. But, ooh, we want that. So to start off, Rain World is a survival platformer. Survival before platformer, I would say, in every sense of the word. As first of all, we're on a timer, and once that timer down, Rain World, ooh, and anything that's outside of a shelter will don't really need to worry too fast for that to happen, but we do need to worry about how we save, etc. We need to eat a certain amount of food to continue. This is a bit annoying, but we need to get to a shelter much later to be able to save in a later area. So there is a few standard types of enemies in this game. Ooh, that sounded good. That being a lizard. We saw a blue lizard here a second ago. Ooh, that's pretty good. So this blue lizard has a centipede. That was a bit annoying. That's whatever, though. So there's some of the standard enemies that we'll see in this game are lizards and centipedes. We'll see some flying ones in just a bit. I did not see that guy. But they won't be too much of an issue. Down a bit more than I would like so far, but it's working out. The other big parts about this game, and I'll talk a bit more about other stuff but every time we survive a cycle, I want this guy to not be near. Every time we survive a cycle, our karma goes up. That being this little circle that showed up in the bottom left, and if that's the symbol of this gate that we're going through, or is above it, we can, and this will be our transition area, loading screen effectively, between different regions. As this is a room-based game, but a lot of rooms need to be loaded at any one given time. Directly below me, down to a shelter. We're going to skip that one for now, we don't really need it. And now we're in Sky Islands, probably one of the more annoying regions of this game. Oh, that's not good. And then we got one of the staple enemies of this game. That being a vulture. He's having a little bit of trouble there, which is good for us. I think you might... Second here. Okay. Alright, so we can see flying centipede. Flying centipedes aren't too much of a problem, as all centipedes can't really see. They really just hear. And when they're flying, they hear even less, more or less. Additionally, there was a newt there, which isn't the worst thing, as they won't attack us unless we attack their children. Here is a... Ooh, come on, we watch you real quick. Here's a squid cicada. Here's one of the bigger changes in movement throughout the game. I'm checking the ceiling real quick. As if we're holding one, it helps us be able to rise and do vertical movement a lot easier. We're hitting this trigger real quick. Actually, I didn't need to hit that trigger. I forgot. Because we're playing Hunter. Not Survivor. But we need to hit 4 different echoes throughout the world. And that's where one of them will be. But we can't see them unless we're at our maximum karma. Or at least close to it. So we need to get to a safe shelter in just a bit here. I'm going to go on the... Actually, let's go on the inside. Yeah, don't worry about it, Georgie. So it's good that we have the... Ooh, that's annoying. So there's a white lizard here. It means he can camouflage. We're going to try to go through him on this pipe here. As if 2 creatures going through a pipe, they don't affect each other. He doesn't seem to want to come over, though. Come on. Come on. You know you want to do it. You only want to stop camping me. Okay, he's doing whatever he wants, apparently. Alright, so now we're in a shelter. We have enough food to survive the cycle. And this is our save. If we die at any point, we'll go back to this shelter. We're going to be at this shelter for a while. But right now, I'm going to do something else that's normally used in the other speedruns. You don't have to do it in this run specifically, but it makes the run a bit simpler and easier. That being that you can starve to survive the cycle. I have one food and can starve off of it. But that makes us in a starved state, which isn't that great. But if we... It also doesn't save the game. If we do continue and then quit out immediately, and then go back in, we actually keep that extra karma, and we're no longer in a starved state. We can effectively do that forever to get our karma as high as we need it to be, but considering what the max karma is, it won't matter too much. Now that the Echo is here, everything in the world, generally around it, will be asleep. Or just won't spawn. Generally stuff just doesn't spawn. Like these pole plants here that I didn't point out earlier, but it doesn't matter. So everything will be pretty much grayed out. We're going to be just going up to the Echo now. So now to put some background on this game, you could say this is based in a more or less... I should do back throws, but whatever. More or less post-apocalyptic situation, except it was more willingly in some way. But we can raise our karma up, our maximum karma, up to karma 10. Currently we have a maximum of 5. Meeting this guy who talks to us, and we see a text box, we're gonna go away so it goes faster. It brings up our karma to 7. And the next one will bring us to 8, the next one will bring us to 9, and the next one will bring us to 10. So we need to be at 4, effectively. How long is a cycle, or can you go indefinitely between sleeps? A cycle can be anywhere between 4 to 15 minutes. Oh. I was hoping the squid cicada would come back out. There we go. So now we're going to be taking the squid cicada. I didn't take the spear, which was dumb of me. And we're going to be going through... this is interesting. Give me just a second here. Something weird might be going on. Oh, never mind. We're going to be going through a pretty annoying area. More often than not, it's fine. But these guys are hunter-specific. Only in hard difficulty, you see them. They're called leap zerds, and they're the only creatures that can truly jump. The rest often just walk on the background, etc. These guys, the orange lizards, aren't too much of a threat. They all can communicate to each other, so if one sees you, they all see you. But not too much of an issue. Okay, these transitions are annoying. There we go. Okay. Squid cicada? Squid cicada. Yes, exactly. I don't pretend to understand what a squid cicada is, personally. But it just works. What else was I gonna say? But effectively, we want to... That's not fun. We want to get our karma up to 10, as to be able to go to an area called depths, and get past a certain trigger, as I'll put it. That was strange. It's whatever, though. Get past a certain trigger to be able to ascend in the void. We'll get to that later, and we'll just go through what the rest of this run is. If we didn't get a squid cicada, we would have gotten one there. That doesn't sound good. The threat theme's kind of high. It's only the purple, though. Okay. So purple lizards, all the different colors of lizards all have different abilities, etc. Purple ones can climb poles. I don't know why this one's here specifically, as he often gets stranded from his shelter home. Also, you see how there's all these pipes? If there's 3 lines on it, that's meaning we can transition through it. If there's really nothing on it, it's a broken pipe, or it's a spawning den for one of the many creatures in the world. So those are their shelters that they want to get back to at the end of a cycle. Alright, so we are just exiting Sky Islands here, which is... So far this run's gone pretty good. I've gone a bit slower just to make sure I didn't die, but so far so good. We're going to be entering in... We're going to be entering into Chimney Academy. It is speedrun? I guess I'm not sure what you mean. But yes, we're doing a pilgrimage run of Hunter to be able to finish this game. That being meeting all the echoes. Well, 4 of 6. So, once again, we're in the range of a echo. I'm gonna do dumb things here. Okay, it's always scary off the screen transition. If I fall off the edge, I'm dead instantly, if you could tell. So doing stuff like that is kind of scary sometimes. So, because everything in this world falls asleep when it's in range of this echo that's one screen above us, sometimes vultures can spawn and immediately fall from the sky. We didn't see any, but it's pretty hilarious when it happens. I'm a bit sad that it didn't happen. That was scary. I folded backwards and almost fell off. We're gonna take this spear just in case. Chimney's always a bit more annoying, because it's when you're in a echo radius. Additionally, everything's slowed down. So any timings you may have practiced, pretend they all don't exist anymore, because they are not what you think they are. Alright, we're gonna wait for another voice line. There we go. And now we're moving on. So now we're at Karma 8. So we need 2 more. We're gonna bail on this whole area and go back to Farm Arrays, the initial area we spawned in, to get the echo that is there. Come on. You can do it. Something that's interesting about the squid cicada, it may not matter too much for this run at least, it matters a lot for the Survivor run, is that the squid cicada takes priority over Slugcat to go through pipes. And that can make going through certain pipes a bit annoying, just because you may be forcing Slugcat's face directly into the transition, but it won't do it because it wants to do the squid cicada one. Okay, didn't want to die there. Also in this area, we probably won't see it, we don't see it, is a drop wig, which kind of hides along the ceiling, and sometimes you won't really be able to see it. Oh, interesting. That was unexpected. So that was a scavenger, also known as the biggest trolls of this run. So scavengers are these monkey-like creatures that can be anywhere through this region, and a few other regions. More often than not, I would not see them there. It doesn't surprise me that I saw one there, but considering I only saw white dots come through, I expected it was well, that drop wig's dead. Expected it was bat flies. So then it blocked my pipe and then just killed me. Alright, let's not be slow about this anymore. When you die, because scavengers are pretty random spawns, this has been annoying. Hello? Friend? Are you dead? Okay. That was a little scary. Because they're pretty random spawns, the next cycle, the potential that they would appear there is pretty low, but yeah. Considering they can also throw spears, you can imagine how much of a threat they would be with AI aim. And now we are somewhere else, I assume? Well, yeah. Every time we die, we're going to go back to the shelter that we were last saving. And now we're going back to the region we spawned in, that being Farmer Race. We're not doing terribly bad so far. Alright, so we're going to be going back through the familiar section that we went through, and then we're going to be going and continuing. Except, instead of... I'm going to make sure I don't die here. Sometimes the centipedes just kind of... Okay. They can just be there and then catch you, and then you're instantly dead. But instead of the squid cicada, we're going to be using a reindeer. R-A-I-N deer. Yes. And then... Ooh. I'm dumb. Okay. Well, I don't know what I was doing there, but that was my fault. We get to do that again. Not too much of a problem, though. So much for my decent run. I couldn't pull up the spear fast enough, so that was my fault. Normally that blue isn't there. But effectively, the two creatures that are used in this game to help us out are the squid cicada that I'm using currently, and there's a reindeer that help us traverse some hard areas. I heard scavenger and assumed that meant the critter put you in a cage or something. No. The critter put a spear into my face. That is the extent of what scavengers would do. We we don't really want that to happen. Yeah, that's generally how it goes. Additionally, when it comes to the difficulties, so there's Monk, Easy, Survivor, Normal, which I prefer, and then Hunter is hard. So the difference between Hunter and the other two is that, well, the main difference is that, one, it's the difficulty upgrade. Two, Hunter can carry a spear on their back, which is great. And three, Hunter can actually eat meat, which is very useful for this run, because that means there's food everywhere at any given time. Alright, we're gonna do that again and not do dumb stuff. The universal greeting of getting a spear to a face, I can imagine. Okay. Bit annoying. Check for the centipede again. Ooh, he want me. You're doing this to me again. So there's a certain size of centipedes that can actually kill you. They all have electric charge. If both heads touch you, you're going to instantly die. And because they grab instantly, it's really nothing you can do. At this point, we don't need the squid cicada. The blue lizard that I did not expect to show up is not there again, which is good for us. Something about this game, additionally, I'm going to say, is that there are rare spawns, like the scavengers and a few other things. But for the most part, all the spawns are the same. Just all enemy movements are very unpredictable. So we want to go through areas as fast as we can, because that will limit... Did I just see something I thought I did? Yeah, that's not good. Oh, he instantly killed me. No. It was a king vulture, so I decided to go under. Except the purple lizard didn't actually notice me. Ah, man. Purple lizard didn't get scared by the king vulture. Additionally, when a creature grabs you, they all have a chance to instantly kill you, or they're just holding on to you. So in that case, it was likely that if the purple grabbed me, the king would have killed him, and then I would have been free. But that's just how that goes. I haven't seen a king actually come down there in a long time. It's not terribly unsurprising. So of all the places for stuff to mess up, this isn't actually the worst place that it could be. If this was the Survivor run, it would be pretty bad. As one, I gave myself a lot of extra time for Hunter. That centipede's freaking out a little bit. There we go. And additionally, for the Hunter run, we don't need to worry about the cycle. For the Survivor run, you need to do 2 deer rides, which is a waste a lot of time within a single cycle, which if the game just doesn't want you to do it, you're not going to do it. But for us, we only have to do 1, and then we're getting an echo in farm race. We had a good cycle anyway. So if I hold map, it pulls up the map. This is a mental image. You get to see how much food we have, this being all the big dots, and then a line, and then the extra food we can have. And all these small dots around the circle with the symbol in it, that's the cycle timer. I'd say we probably have a 10 to 12 minute. That's not a good sign. Show me the next screen. Why was there a threat theme if there's nothing there? Well, okay. So the thing about what just happened there is that when it comes to most creatures, barring centipedes and some few exceptions, is that creatures have to charge up their bite to actually be able to bite you. It's hard to explain unless you've really seen it. Well, experienced it. I assume the map is the same between everyone? Yes. You don't see most of this game in any particular run. To be completely honest, which is why runs like 100% are pretty interesting. Okay, let's not get destroyed this time. I knew I should have got the rock earlier, but not too bad. Alright, so something I didn't tell about earlier is that generally the stuff you're going to find on the ground normally are spears and rocks. So when it comes to lizards, they have very hard heads, but if you hit them in the face with a rock, that's also a really bad centipede we didn't want to see. If you hit them in the face with a rock, they'll actually flip over. I'm trying to get the attention of this centipede so it actually moves. Additionally, the thing I'm holding right now is called a lot of people like to call it a gas apple. Or pesticides, as it can instantly kill the centipede if I want to kill it. But additionally, the reindeer like to eat them for whatever reason. And we need to get the attention of one. Oh, we got lucky this time. It's not common that one would be immediately here. Okay. We want to try to grab it out of its mouth so we can keep it for later. Generally you want two, so if there isn't one here, we would throw one and then wait for it to show up. So now we get to experience exhilarating gameplay of riding a deer. So there is ways to speed this up. I'm not going to do it for this run, mostly because both my hands are full and I can't really pull up the spear. But we need this guy to traverse past this worm grass. So effectively the worm grass will be touching you, and then you'll slowly lose a different stat. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'd like to call it stamina. Also, we finally hit the music trigger. Nice. Music trigger's a little strange in this game sometimes, but yeah. We really don't want to go anywhere near that. Let's go faster. I mean, if I drop one of these pesticides, the chances of the deer ceasing to function correctly are very, very high. So I'm not gonna do it. If you've dealt with this deer as long as I had, you know how much that this deer likes to, its AI likes to break. It likes to cease to exist. It likes to make absolutely no sense. Oh, I made it. Finally got some toilet paper. Amazing. It's a miracle in these times. But yeah, every time you stab a deer with a spear, it will lurch forward just a bit. So if we continually stab one, it will keep lurching forward, but it will also, because it now feels threatened, it will try to leave the room. So we only do it when we pass the halfway point of that room, so that it will leave to the left side. I mean, does any AI make sense? More often than not, in this game, yes, but when it comes to reindeer make no sense, ever. Reindeer are painful sometimes. Oh, we might get flung off. Okay. Also, if the cycle gets near the end, the deer will leave. I can't do the strat here, really, because the deer can only leave to the right side of the room, and we need to go to the left side. We can do it, and if we stab him fast enough, we can stun lock him to keep going left without him turning around. But that is more likely to end in failure than I will really ever try. If you can imagine, runs of this and a few other runs could go much faster, just how reindeer work. Reindeer don't care. No, they do not. Reindeer are destroyer of worlds. They do whatever they want. The good thing is we didn't experience really any jank with them this time, so we didn't have to really do any of that again, which is... Thank you, game. Alright, so we're just about where we need to save. Gonna eat some of these tiny centipedes real quick. That one dropped down. Alright. Now I get to actually do a bit movement. So a lot of the main forms of movement that I haven't really talked about at all is that you can do belly slides, you can jump out of the belly slides and go into a roll, and then if you jump out of a roll from a distance of one square up and then go down, you actually... I just realized something that isn't very good. So I actually went the wrong way just a bit, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to go back. We're going to be a bit farther than I want to be from one of the echoes, but it'll work out in the end either way. So I'm going to starve up so I can actually see one of the echoes. By karma caching. And then we're going to go back the way we came just a bit. Except we're going to go down instead of left. I knew I would forget this, but it isn't a big issue. I'm not sure what would be the better way to do it either way. Just we do have to ride the deer again, which may or may not be bad. Hopefully we get a decent cycle. Technically this world has already ended. I don't know about that. We actually got the maximum cycle this time, so we got a full 15 minutes, which is amazing. So this next section is going to be a bit longer than I would want. Additionally, we're going to have to get a deer to actually come and get us down here, which isn't something that I've done terribly often. So I might be waiting around for just a bit here. In the meantime, I'm going to get some spears. Come on, game. Come back to me. There we are. Let's get this out of our stomach. So we can store an item in our stomach. So I'm going to put this gas apple in our stomach for now. Just for later. I know a deer is there. He's just not coming over here. You can tell by the way the worm grass is acting. Come on. You can do it. Apparently he can't do it. That's not good. So Centipede's coming over to me right now. So this broken pipe here, broken pipes can also be used for AI to move around between rooms. Well, inside of a room. Deer is not happy with me today. I'm thinking I might reset this cycle, just because how the deer is acting. Oh, we got some life. That seems good to me. Alright, come on. So this centipede doesn't know we're here because we haven't made any noise. If we're on the ground low like this, they don't know. Alright, come on. Get over here. I'd like to play the game today. Oh, yes, thank you. Alright, we're still good on cycle timer. So I'm sorry this isn't as I intended. I just forgot to go the right way, so we have to do this extra ride. Playing games is overrated. True. But also, I would like to play this one, at least sometimes. So this, I could technically jump off right now and just surpass the deer. But given the deer is going to make this worm grass really active, there's actually a chance I could just die to it. So I'm not going to try to run through it, even though you can. Okay. Don't do it. I'm always thinking about it. So that did not affect him as much as I would hope it would. But we'll deal with it. Because these are actual pesticides, it would kill centipedes, but he didn't get affected by it as much. Alright, so this section's a bit scary as well, as we have to deal with two different types of spiders. We're gonna eat this spider. I didn't notice him there at first. The spiders can revive each other, one. Two, there are the two different kinds, that being one the wolf spider, this green one, and the red one, which is a spitter spider, which is the one we're worried about, as they can spit tranquilizing darts at us, which is very scary. So I'm just going to try to not deal with them real quick. Above me is a pole plant. It's just a pole that will eat you if you grab onto it. So that's not something I want to touch. You can kind of see it glowing red just a bit there. Alright, so we made it to the save I was supposed to go to, but we'll just keep going so we can get the echo, and then we'll be brought back all the way where we need to be. So we don't have to do an extra ride. I don't need to eat this guy. What am I doing? We do need one of these over here, though. And by one of these, I mean I'm taking two of them. So there's two things left that could kill me before I get this echo here. That's a arena unlocked for sandbox there. Doesn't matter too much for us. But there's two things that can kill me here. One, the reindeer sometimes will just not go across the entirety of this room. And I do not know why. You can make it past the last section, but usually because of how the deer makes the grass really active, you're likely to just die to it. So I'm hoping that the deer will actually go all the way across. Also, when two deer go straight at each other, the one with the smaller antlers will bow, generally, which is not what we would want, obviously. Alright. I don't know why that visual bug happens, but obviously the albino worm grass there is not supposed to happen. Happens something weird with how the screen transitions. Please don't sit down. Okay, thank goodness. Alright, so there's these two last patches. Sometimes he doesn't go fully across this last one. But we're good. Perfect. Alright, now we're going to be going down these big stairs. It has worm grass all on it, but as long as we keep moving fast, there is no risk. There we go. Let's actually get a roll off of this. Alright, now we're going to be in echo range. I'm going to throw this because I don't need it anymore. Which means that everything's going to be asleep, except the worm grass, because the worm grass is OP. Additionally, there's also this thing, which is terrifying. I don't know how to explain it, other than it releases bees. And if I was in the wormgrass range, it would stick me to the terrain, and I would just be slowly sucked down by the wormgrass. So we're just gonna... You can run by it fast. I just don't want to deal with that. Yeah, I can also hit it with the pesticides to make it inactive. And be able to actually pick it up and use it a bit. As in carry it around. But we don't really want to deal with that. Also, I noticed a rare spawn in the bottom right. Not the bees. Yes, the bees. We like to call those pain cones. Because they only cause pain. But we actually made it. Despite doing the wrong route, we're actually probably still in good time. Even though I accidentally stopped my timer and can't see how long it's been. Alright. So now we only need one more. As you may notice, every time we see an echo, we actually get a line, effectively. So by the end, we'll get 4 lines, and that makes an X, because we're crossing ourselves out from this world in terms of karma. There's a lot more into it, and it would take a while to really talk about it, so unless there's a specific question about it, I'm probably not going to touch on it too much. Alright, so this is the last region of the game. We're immediately going to drop down, get the last echo we need, which is always active, even if we didn't have full karma. And then we get to do probably one of the more annoying sequences that you can do in this game as a speedrunner. If I can not mess up this jump. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Text box, go back. There we go. We don't have time to listen to you. Percent sign. But effectively, last area of the game, you may imagine it could be pretty annoying. For the most part, it's actually not that bad for the other difficulties. But for Hunter, the very specific enemy is going to show up, and hopefully we don't see him, that could ruin our day. And he's going to have a lot of buddies with him. Effectively, I'm talking about red centipede. So red centipedes, if you've noticed on normal centipedes, they have all the chunks. Now picture all of those chunks being individual pieces of armor. It doesn't matter if we get stunned. And spears will bounce off of the armor if it hits those chunks. That spider, please. It will break that armor chunk, but now your spear is in space. I just got hit. No. And could be anywhere else. And also because it's gigantic. Okay, we should be good, as long as it doesn't come back down. Because it's gigantic, and because it's considered to be overgrown, it will rush you down like there's no tomorrow. So you need to be in a 1x1 pipe to really fight this thing well, or you could hit it with a gas apple. Okay, so the spider that's normally going to mess us up in this little terrain I'm going through right now is not... We passed him. It's not too much of an issue. So something that I'm going to try to do in just a second here. Let's put that there. So I'm holding firecrackers, which will scare everything in a room, and everything will try to leave the room they're currently in, which will be useful in just a second. But something else is... Stop reviving him. Is that if we carry a creature body, and especially a spider, and we're going through a 1x1 pipe, we move very fast, which can be very useful. But we can't really take the bodies in too many places. We're kind of lucky that we just fell down here and there's nothing here. But we can't really carry the bodies too far. So this is the death pit. But nothing appears to be here, which is surprising. Usually there's a lot of centipedes. So here's a monster kelp. Not too much of a problem. We could just kill it if we want. I'm gonna see if I can make this jump. Nice. We're gonna get the creepy music to drop. It's a mole lizard. But Dropwig's holding something. He's no threat. So far, we're getting good luck. Spider? Is that 2 spiders? I think that's 2 spiders. Good name, the Death Pit? Normally it's pretty bad. Normally it's you jump in there and you die instantly. But not too bad today. We want that spear, actually. We didn't get a spider, which is kind of sad for this next area, because it's all 1x1 pipes. But that's for the best. There's a spider there. All the spiders die in 1 hit for Hunter. Hunter hits a bit harder, which is good for us, because we can actually 1-hit stuff to a degree. If we're carrying a spider through a 1x1 pipe, we do make noise comparative to... This is annoying. I can't turn around. Okay. I didn't want to do it that way, but it worked out. I now have tendinitis. So we really want to go through this section fast. The good thing is, because we're making so much noise, we make the mole lizards hear us, and so they'll light up. I can just see their whiskers. I don't know how well it captures, but I know exactly where he is right now. He's right in my way, however. So we're gonna try to pipe juke him, as one does. There's gonna be a lot of these mole lizards coming up. So mole lizards can't see, which is their biggest weakness and our biggest strength against them. Okay, this is a bit annoying. I probably could have just rushed past that guy. But we're gonna do this the safe way. Now there are 3 of them. Okay, this transition could... Nothing could possibly go wrong. Oh, that's pretty good. So as long as none of them are on the left side, it's not that bad. But if we start making too much noise and then stay in a section for too long, they will all converge on our location. So that's not good. So we want to move fast through this. There might be someone below me. Nope, it looks like we're in the clear. Alright, so... Maybe it seems like that was a lot of excitement, etc. But now, it's all movement. Which personally is my favorite part, because I really like the movement of this game. But it is literally impossible for me to die from this point on. We're not doing any percent, so we don't need to get a very hard trick. But there are no more naturally spawning enemies that can affect us, which is great. So the run basically has less than 12 minutes left. Also, we passed the trigger that we needed to. Well, messed that strat up. Can we get the backup? Nope. I think I stuck the spear in the ceiling there. Yeah, it did. But there's no more enemies from this point on. Technically there is, but they won't affect us. There's one fall that can kill us. But as long as we're not stupid about it, we'll be fine. We need a spear for a later section so we can go fast. But the rest is just movement. Oh, okay. Slopes make no sense. So additionally, the farther we go through the depths, it will kind of be like the echo effect, where everything will be slowed down slowly to a degree. The farther we go in, it'll be slowed down more and more. So it's actually a bit annoying to do some of the more advanced things, like the back throw that I did there. If you do a belly slide, except you throw a spear backwards, you will actually keep speed for a great distance. I'm actually going to do something interesting here and do the any percent strat to despawn an enemy, just because. Okay. I might have messed it up, but it doesn't matter. It's just something to do because it's funny. I'll tell you if it worked if we don't see any creatures. Okay, I actually got the despawn for the any percent route. So traditionally, there's a bunch of creatures here that we like to call the Guardians. They don't affect you if you have maximum karma. To get by them for any percent, one of the main things is to despawn them by loading in the room, leaving into another room to unload the room, and then while it's loading the next time, leave the adjacent room again to make the loading mess up and just not spawn placed objects, which is what those creatures are considered. That's the best I can explain it. I find it hilarious that it works. I'm actually going to take time to hit the music trigger here so we can actually hear it. I might have missed it. Yeah, I think I missed it. Whatever. But I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as interesting as it sounds, but it's kind of hard to hit it sometimes. But we are in depths. I missed the music trigger, so we're going to be going through it a bit quieter than usual. For the most part, because everything's slowed down and my muscle memory kind of messes me up, I'm going to be trying to pick up speed in any other way I can, that being normally through rolls, or by throwing items in the air and then jumping whenever we hit the ground so we can keep up speed. Obviously we don't want to slug against a wall. Okay, that messed up a bit. There's a few other small things that we can do to make everything work out. But we're just going to be going deeper and deeper into this deep pit that is depths. Until we get to the void, which will be the last section. When we hit the void, there'll be about... I forget the timing, it's been a little while. 6 minutes left at most. And then I'll talk for a bit after. Effectively, we're just trying to keep up speed, do rolls when we can. This is the second to last room in the game. The last room is very big, however. Well, you may notice something about it. Right, here's the gold room. May be really hard to see, don't worry about it. We'll get through it in a second. So now we are going to be entering the void sea. Now, what may be under the void sea, you may ask? Well, that's what a lot of people would like to know, and you don't really ever know until you actually go down. So that's what we're doing now. So something I'm going to say about the movement, while the sound hopefully doesn't drown me out, is that because I'm on controller, I can do this kind of snaking motion along with pressing jump rhythmically to keep a breaststroke speed, and that gives us more speed than just pointing straight down. But slowly going down in the void, and the curtain slowly gets unveiled as to what's actually going on down here. But also, this is the most RNG part of the run. Outside of deer. I would like to say, at least. They can't hurt you to any degree. But they sure can move you around. And they can speed you up, they can slow you down. They can just do absolutely nothing to you. So this is the last point where really the game can just kind of be like, yeah, you're not on a good pace anymore, which is annoying, but that's just how it goes. Alright, we're almost through the void worm layer. Just kind of close your eyes and pretend it's not happening, is generally how it goes. This was actually really bad in terms of time going through this void worm layer area. Slowed us down quite a bit there. Alright, so I'm going to be listening for a audio trigger here. As we're all alone in the deep depths. I still have my brick. Oh, there it is. Alright, gonna try to do some RNG manipulation here. I'm not exactly sure how this guy works, but one of his claws will activate after he moves around and hits certain triggers. And I think it kind of messes up if we're facing straight down like this. Okay, that was pretty good, actually. Usually it takes a bit longer than that. But now he's gonna do whatever he wants to us. He's gonna bring us back up. Hopefully that's not too loud. Bring us right back down. This is kind of the point where you're like, if it's the run or not. Because at this point it's just swimming. Until the end. But, yeah. There's really nothing that I feel like I could say about this moment other than what it's happening. Alright, so we can lean left or right. We generally... I've done some timing, and even though we get tugged when he leans left, I think it's actually faster. So we can, if he leans right, it won't tug us back. But the ending doesn't spawn until he goes back up and then despawns. So the moment he despawns, we'll hear music. We'll start seeing a light gradient to the bottom right here at about a 30-degree angle, which is also why controller does better in the swimming section. I am using controller, by the way. We can hear the music. And we get a bunch of friends to follow us. We're going to be going and swimming a lot faster than developers kind of intended us, so we won't be with our friends for terribly long. But this is the final swim. Time will be when you see loading in the bottom left. But, yeah. I'd say the ending is up to people's interpretation. I would also like to say that the game is very... I'd like to say that you should consider the game to be its own thing, and its ending to be its own thing. I wouldn't say that you should base the game off of what the ending is. As the ending is an escape from the game in a lot of ways. And that's kind of the point. Alright, and... time. Alright. So, something about this ending cutscenes. There's actually supposed to be... It might be bugged out. Ooh, maybe not. But it's actually supposed to be different for Hunter. But the ending cutscenes don't exist for Hunter on PC yet. That'll be soon. 58:20, not bad. Considering the issues, that's only about 11 minutes off. I feel like it was 47 was the best. Please don't bug out. No. So there's supposed to be one more screen. Yeah. There's supposed to be one more screen after this one, but sometimes the game bugs out and it doesn't show it. Usually it happens because I tab out. I'm not sure why it doesn't happen on other occasions, but yeah. So this has been Rain World. Ooh. This has been Rain World. Pilgrimage as Hunter, being the hard mode. There's a lot more game to this game than what we have seen. And if you can imagine, especially from a speedrunning perspective, we really don't see a lot of it. Yeah, a few other things that I would like to say is that, well, one, I'm technically doing... actually, let's not worry about it too much. But, yeah, this has been Rainbow on Hunter for a pilgrimage run. Even with the wrong routing, it went well. I would recommend this for people to play casually, personally. But, just remember it's a survival game, not a platformer. So it can go very strange at times. But, yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.